Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
And welcome to the City Manager's Report Top 10 of 2024. This is our annual countdown of the most important events, projects, and initiatives that happened this year in Oshkosh. I'm Andy Radig, and I'm joined by City Manager Mark Rohloff. And Mark, thanks for being here. And can you tell us a little bit about what this show is all about?
Yeah, it's great to be here, Andy. You know, the top 10 really evolved in terms of, what things we had on City Manager's Report over the past year and what things have, in retrospect, kind of risen to the top in terms of things that we're proud of in the community, issues that have crossed our paths that may have made some great progress or maybe a little setback or so. But it's appropriate to talk about these things, and it really helps set the stage for what the next year has coming. So hopefully with everything we're doing right here, we'll lay out something for quite promising for 2025.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we might as well dive right into our list here. So our number 10 this year for 2024 is rebranding at the Oshkosh Public Museum and the Oshkosh Public Library. So, rebranding involves quite a few things, a logo, the website, and it kind of goes on from there. And those folks have been working very hard to establish a new brand for their individual areas.
Well, yeah, it's about refreshing, the look and the information that's provided, and this is one of these things that I always call continuous self-improvement. Mm-hmm. So, your museum unveiled a new branding over the course of the year, the OPM logo, and of course, a lot of people still to this day have not been inside our public museum. So, making people aware of it and the emphasis on history, art, and culture. So, the new inspiration, or the inspiration for the new logo, is about the sunrise over Lake Winnebago, the jewel tones found in the Tiffany stained glass, which is sort of the color mix you see there, and the landscape window in the Sawyer home that's the Tiffany glass represents. And then, of course, the M in the logo is brought to the forefront since, we'll talk about Oshkosh Public Museum, but, when we're chatting about it, we just refer to it as the museum, and
sure.
So we're happy about that. So this is all part of what's known as OPM 100, because we had a lot of series of exhibitions, programs, and events celebrating what is, in 2024, the 100th anniversary of the Oshkosh Public Museum. It opened to the public in 1924, so we're really happy about everything going on at the museum.
Yeah, absolutely. And the museum actually has a world-class treasure. The Sawyer home is where the museum is located. It's the last remaining publicly accessible original commission of interior design by the prestigious Tiffany Studios. So that glasswork that's in the museum, that's quite exceptional, and it's quite a rare feature.
It really is, and it makes us unique, and you're going to see some exhibits in the coming year that we're going to be partnering with other Tiffany folks. So that's, we're really proud of the museum. And then, of course, there's the library.
Yes.
And the Oshkosh Public Library also unveiled its new website and brand identity. And so we're real excited about that. The new branding includes the tagline, "Spark Your Story," about empowering community members in their lifelong learning and personal growth. And we're happy to be talking about that. So as you can see, the new logo for the library features the lion's head and sparks, symbolizing its 124-year history and core values of strength and leadership.
Right, and patrons will notice the new visuals on their library cards, throughout the library building and also at outreach events that are coming up. So you can see a little bit there on their website and how it's been revamped and new colors and all the new imagery. So it's quite exciting. Actually, even in the library, you notice all around there's a new look. So
great to highlight our quality of life assets here in town.
Absolutely. All right. Well, then also we have our number 9 feature for 2024, which is the Parks Comprehensive Outdoor Recreation Plan. That's quite a mouthful.
It is, but we like to call it CORP for short, so
CORP
that makes
for
it a
short.
little easier.
And what exactly is this?
Well, the CORP is really a formal document designed to support and assist communities in planning for parks and recreation, outdoor recreation facilities. So it starts with an inventory of our parks and rec facilities, and then gets into goals and objectives that we'd like to pursue with past accomplishments, and then an analysis of the needs and recommendations based on the park's data that's available to us. Essentially, the CORP, and you can see it's 2024 to 2028, so it's a 5-year roadmap for the Parks Department for the next 5 years. And then the practical side of this is also, this is a key component for the Parks Department to qualify for grants, because one of the first things they ask you is, do you have a comprehensive outdoor recreation plan? Where is this project in your CORP? And so we like to show that, and that's part of the reason we do this. And we've been quite successful because we've kept our CORP up to date over the years.
Yeah, and this plan really includes several things, quite a variety of things, and one of which is actually a new facility that opened to the public this year, the Lakeshore Park Four Seasons building.
Right, that was in our previous CORP, and so demonstrating, you put it in the plan, and then you can get something very practical. So this beautiful building features a large assembly room, a kitchenette, interior and exterior restrooms, and a wraparound deck that is just awesome that opens to the assembly room. It is a year-round facility, and that was the whole idea. It has heating and air conditioning, and the large glass walls take advantage of some incredible panoramic views from this location. So you can rent the Four Seasons building right now, but it gets booked up very fast. So give a Parks Department a call at 920-236-5080, and maybe you can book one of your upcoming family events.
Right, and I know that a lot of different types of events happen there. It's a very popular building, as you've noted, and just stunning when you look at the view from there. So we encourage people to check it out. Number 8 on our countdown for 2024 is the new police department's canine, Gemma. It's
our new therapy dog. Canine Gemma is a professionally trained 2-year-old female Labrador, yellow Labrador, who follows the paw prints of Canine Magic, who tragically passed away back in 2023. I really should just show the photos and just let it speak for itself. Of course, Dean Smith is trying to, upstage Gemma. That's not going to happen, Chief. And then Scott Zapata, our behavioral health officer, who since 2021 has been responding to behavioral health related issues, highly sensitive and emotional calls for service, as well as being a support dog for employees of the police department after critical incidents. So we're very proud of the fact that Gemma was trained locally through a program called Journey Together, based right here in Oshkosh. And that organization provides highly trained service dogs to people diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. And so Gemma is a perfect addition to our staff. And we're going to keep looking to seek strategies to help officers de-escalate situations, and having Gemma on our staff is one way of doing that.
Right. And I believe that Officer Zapata works alongside co-responder Kayla Rodriguez of Winnebago County. So this is a collaborative effort as well.
It really is, and it's really just putting the best person into the situation to help de-escalate, whether it's Officer Zapata, our co-responder Kayla Rodriguez, or sometimes our therapy dog does that magic as well. So we're very proud of this, and it's a great addition to our team.
Okay. All right. Well, number 7 on our top 10 of 2024 is property revaluation. This is something we've talked about quite a bit this year.
We've talked about it quite a bit. When I said, some things we're not necessarily, proud of or happy about. By law, we're required to do a revaluation of real estate to reflect market conditions. And as everybody knows, the market has changed extensively.
Yes.
And the last time we had done one of these revaluations was back in 2017, and we're required by state law to be within 10% of full market equalized value once in a 5-year period. So we had to get this done. The average increase in value is about 50%. But the real rub was that the commercial only went up 30% and residential average going up 70%. So that has resulted in a shift in the property tax bills people are getting right now. So I know that is a variety of factors. We point out we're not the only taxing entity, but the distribution formula has changed, and you're going to see a shift to residential this year. So you'll see an increase, even though the council's lowered the levy to kind of minimize the blow here. But it's something that we're going to have to keep looking at in 2025, because we're going to have to do yet another revaluation because our commercial properties still need to get up to speed.
Many factors that are involved in this, so it's a complicated topic.
I think a lot of people view the assessors as the people who set the taxes. The assessors don't set the tax rates. The assessed values can't be used to increase or decrease taxes, but it's the vehicle upon which the property taxes are distributed, and so it does have an impact eventually on your taxes, especially when there's such a shift from one to the other. So bear with us, and in 2025 we'll be doing another revaluation, and that might help shift it again, but it's hard to say.
And residents can keep an eye on our Oshkosh City information for more details about that revaluation and more information about what is to come. Okay, Mark, number 6 on our list of the top 10 items from 2024. Major road projects have been accomplished this year. There have really been a lot of projects that have happened, and some things that I know people are very appreciative that they're complete.
Especially if it's in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Once it's done, everybody's happy. But we're going to do one that everybody can perhaps relate to, because it took place right in Menominee Park, and that's Pratt Trail. Now, actually, I'd like to say this was a 2024 project. It was actually a 2023 project, but the road was closed for nearly a year after an archaeological review identified some items of significance that were discovered when we began this project back in August of 23. So we worked with several organizations to manage the site so that we did it appropriately, and that includes the Cultural Resource Management Program at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, the Wisconsin Historical Society, the Department of Natural Resources, as well as the tribal nations, particularly the Menominee tribe, who we've gotten to know quite well through this process. And the archaeologist work in part was aimed at preservation of those assets. So that's what took so long. But you got the final product looks great, but it took a while to get done. But those weren't the only projects we had done this year. In a lot of residential areas, we had what we call comprehensive street projects, which include sewer, water laterals, storm sewer, and pavement. So some of the streets, you may see them here. We've got a lot of projects, a lot of video here, but Cherry Street and Prospect Avenue, just immediately north of the university, Grand Street over near the Near East Side, Wagyu Avenue going from downtown off to the east, and then on the near south side, West 5th Avenue, Iowa Street, West 7th and Michigan Avenue, and then lastly, East 7th Avenue over in that area near where Mill on Main is going. So a lot of different projects going on, and we're happy to get road projects started, but we're more happy when the road projects get finished. And so these are the major accomplishments in 2024 as far as roads go.
Quite a few things, and I know that the finishing touches have recently been put on these projects, so glad to see that they're moving along. And also, I should put a side note that our Public Works Director, James Robbie, has recorded a video that outlines some of the projects to come in the year to come, so we can let people know that they can view that and learn more about next year. Well, somewhat related to this is our number 5 on the list for this year, special assessments reform. So this is the mechanism by which these projects, or at least a good part of these projects, is paid for.
And this was a big change over previous years. So projects that began in 2024, we've had a 10-year process to go back and forth over different solutions. And that was the real issue about what, we agreed generally we wanted to get rid of special assessments, but what was the solution? And we've been going through and proposed and rejected solutions over 5 years, but the real challenge was that the cost of road construction has continued to rise over the last several years, causing property owners to incur large costs for their portion of the work. And the council wanted to eliminate the street portion and the sidewalk portion of those special assessments. So that's what the council came up with, a variety of combinations of solutions. One was a very unpopular vehicle registration fee was implemented this past summer. That vehicle registration fee is now $35 per vehicle. It's in addition to what you pay with your annual Department of Transportation registration fee. Began appearing on vehicle registration renewals that started after July 1, 2024. Motorcycles and certain license plates were exempt, but that was one. The other one, utility fees. We put some into utilities because a portion of this is benefiting the utilities when we do street improvements. So you're going to see water, wastewater, and stormwater rates rise about 0.25% to 0.5% annually to pay for this, just for that alone. So what's the impact on a $100 monthly utility bill? About 25 cents to 50 cents per month for each year that we do this. So again, I mentioned before, road and sidewalk reconstruction counts, as well as sidewalk rehabilitation. But what's not affected is also important, because water and wastewater laterals to a property, the pipes that run to your house, those are your benefit, and they're your cost. So, and then of course new developments. If it's a new development, that's something that you pay for as well, and new utility construction. So the idea behind this was to get a more balanced approach, and again to ease the financial burden, because there's a lot of work that goes into these streets. City was picking up a good portion of it, but I think the council said we want the relief to go to the property owners, because it costs a lot, and that you ought to be paying for it some different way. So that's what we did.
And it's been a long time coming too.
It sure has.
All right. Well, on a lighter note, our number 4 on our list for 2024 is Menominee Park Zoo additions, and they have some new residents over at the Menominee Park Zoo.
Yeah, I just had the pleasure of doing the ribbon cutting for that yesterday, and it starts with we got a lot of animals here in the top 10, but a new bear cub named Mr. Reeves joined the zoo and took residence at the new black bear and fox exhibit. So you can see that right here. The zoo staff worked with several accredited organizations to find a bear needing relocation. Mr. Reeves is a playful 107-pound black bear when he arrived, I gotta say, who will soon turn 1 year old. Already after just a few weeks, Mr. Reeves is already up to 137 pounds. So Mr. Reeves is packing it on for the winter. But
he's happy.
He's happy, and eventually he'll be 500 pounds. But Mr. Reeves came to us from Anchorage, Alaska, where he was considered a nuisance bear because he really lost his fear of humans and started to associate with people as suppliers of food. And these bears can be dangerous to the public, so the relocation was the best solution for this young Alaskan black bear. So the bear exhibit has all the features a bear needs to thrive in captivity and call home, including that tree that Mr. Reeves just loves to climb. But it has a water feature, hollowed logs, and a den. So in addition to Mr. Reeves, we also have a fox trio of Melly, Joey, and Apollo that rounds out the fox side of the exhibit. And we want people to have a chance to see it and see all 4 of these animals. So through December 30th, the zoo is going to be open Mondays through Fridays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. except holidays. And of course, as always, admission is free to the Menominee Park Zoo. And the zoo will not be open again on weekends or holidays. And as we've done many times and will continue to do, we want to thank Tom and Penny Herrenberg and the foundation that they've set up at the Community Foundation for their continued support of the zoo and the addition of the bear and fox exhibit. They pretty much paid for the bulk of this exhibit. And as you can see, it's a beautiful exhibit, a great addition to the zoo. We had well over 100 people attend the ribbon cutting yesterday, and it is going to be a great addition to the Menominee Park Zoo.
Sure. Yeah, it's always exciting to see a new addition to the zoo, and I know that when I was a child there was a black bear over at Menominee Park Zoo, and it's great to see another black bear take residence again.
Yeah, and I think having the native type of animals makes it a little more of a genuine type of zoo. So and I think that's what people enjoy, and we're going to be able to enjoy these exhibits for many years to come.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes, for sure. Okay, number 3 on our list of the top 10 items from 2024, the city addresses housing issues. And I know that there's been a focus on this for a while now. And, there are efforts being made to increase the amount of housing and also taking a look at affordability.
Yeah, and increasing the housing stock was identified in the 2022 housing study that said we need housing at all ranges of the housing market, particularly the higher end and the lower end, but also providing housing for that middle as well. So in response to the housing study, several projects have been developed and identified in 2024. The first one are apartments, and one of the biggest examples we have is over there in the vicinity of Lake Butimore, Lake Butimore Drive. There's a new development that will eventually have several hundred apartments in this area, and this is part of a larger development plan we have for this area that will be what we call a mixed-use tax increment district that will, in the northern area of the city, to encourage development. So we're doing things to get utilities there, so it will help facilitate developers getting things done. Getting infrastructure as inexpensive as possible is really key to this. So you're going to see some of that. But the city isn't just doing that. The city is kind of getting in a little bit into the development business themselves. And we've got some great partners. First of all, there's Farmington Drive on the north end of town. It's near the intersection of Snell and Jackson Street. It's just off to the southwest there. And there's some streets that dead end, and we're going to fill those out and loop them around. And this is really what's called workforce housing, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. But what workforce housing means is people of median income, 80 to 120% of median income. A median income for a family of 4 is $100,000 a year. It is not low income by any stretch of the imagination. So plus or minus $100,000 per household. And that's the type of home you're going to see here, affordable to those type of folks. The lots are smaller, which makes it more affordable because being closer together, it's more efficient to get utilities there because you can serve more homes when they're smaller lots. So that's part of what we're doing here.
And it blends with the neighborhood.
It absolutely does blend with the neighborhood. They're slightly smaller lots, but when I say slightly, 10-15% smaller. So it's not a great deal smaller. And then additionally, we've partnered with the Oshkosh Area School District and eventually with Habitat for Humanity over on the former Washington School property. And the council just approved a proposal to demolish the site, and we're going to be putting in about 19 lots there for residential development. And it's going to be a combination of both lower to moderate income as well as moderate income. So moderate income is 80 to 120% of median income, and then 80% or low income is below 80%. And the idea is to focus on development affordable, moderate, and medium cost housing with all of these projects together. So we're excited about doing this and looking forward to seeing some of these develop in the future.
And they're well on their way, so it's exciting to see the progress happen. Absolutely. All right, well, we are getting to the top of our list. We are at number 2, and that one is public safety emphasis in the 2025 budget. So I know that there have been some items between the Oshkosh Fire Department and Oshkosh Police Department that are being proposed or actually approved, have been approved to expand upon their services.
Well, this was a year-long discussion in 2024 about what some of our needs are, and the council acknowledged the need for a 4th ambulance unit for the Oshkosh Fire Department. Over the last 5 years, our call volume has increased by 16.7%, and that trend continues to accelerate. So to meet those needs, the council directed staff to add a 4th ambulance to our fire department. We have 3 currently, and this will be effective July 1, 2025. So getting the ball rolling on getting that 4th ambulance out there. And that'll have a direct impact on the cost to the city of Oshkosh taxpayers. A unit like this probably costs about $1 million a year when all is said and done. And of course, we have municipal partners, so we're passing on some of those costs to our partners because the council felt they have to pay their proportionate share of of these costs. So we're increasing the cost that we charge our surrounding municipal partners as well. So we're committed to provide high quality emergency medical services to our municipal partners as well as our community. We've been doing this for 2 decades with our partners, and we're going to continue to do so. And so that's the fire side of it. The police side is some of the discussion that's an offshoot of homelessness and identifying the fact that merely housing folks is not necessarily the idea, and pushing people along who may be congregating in certain areas isn't the answer either. It's about talking to folks and getting them connected with resources. We at the city don't necessarily have the resources that provide these direct services, but between our county and our nonprofit partners, we need some assistance. So we've added 2 police officers, an officer who will be more of like a behavioral health officer, like we talked about earlier, as well as a sergeant to help coordinate all of our behavioral health programs, as well as contract with Winnebago County for an additional social worker. And the idea is to continue our outreach to connect the homeless individuals with resources, not only connect them with the resources, but also follow up, because we just can't say go there and get help. It's like, are you doing this? And so we're going to see more of that in the coming year. And I think council's committed to helping do their part to address the core causes of homelessness.
Well, there's a lot to be considered. It's a continuum of care, and so the emphasis is there and the resources are being put into place. Okay, well, I think we need a drum roll of some sort, but we will jump into our number 1 item for the top 10, and that is South Shore redevelopment. And that area is just exploding. It's amazing.
There is so much going on there, and I hope we have enough time remaining in the show, because I'm very proud of a lot of these things. So, some of these have been in work for a number of years. So let's start with probably the cornerstone of it, and that is the Mill on Main development, which is a mixed-use apartment complex and commercial center. We broke ground just back in October of 2024, and the first phase is expected to be completed in 2026. When it's all done, there'll be about 300 housing units and 20,000 square feet of commercial space. Phase 1 will be about 100 of those residential units. And so that broke ground this fall, and we're excited about that. The next one is the Theta Care Medical Center, their micro hospital, projected to be about 114,000 square feet with an estimated $84 million investment right here along the riverfront. That's going to be about 60 new jobs for caregivers and staff. The beauty of this is the jobs are great, the development's great, but it's going to be providing on the downtown and east side of Oshkosh comprehensive care, including emergency and inpatient services, 24 hours a day, every day of the year, right in the downtown. So we're very pleased about that. That's over at 250 West 6th Avenue, right at the corner of 6th Avenue and Oregon Street, of course, along the river too. Residents living east of Interstate 41. So it's expected to be complete and operational in 2025, and we'll look forward to that keep going.
Yes.
Then we got a couple more smaller residential developments, but they're really kind of cool. One is the MK Lofts, and that's a former Miles Kimball 4-story warehouse built in 1897, and it's right there at the corner of 9th and South Main Street. The Redevelopment Authority acquired the property from the Miles Kimball Company back in 2005. This has nearly been 20 years in the making. As you can see from some of the videos, some studio and 2-bedroom lofts. It's some really cool exposed mass timber structure, 13-foot high exposed wood ceilings, and about 32 units, and they are now renting. So I guess you got to go check that out yourself.
Right.
And then finally, another one that sort of rounds out the South Shore is Boatworks. It's west of the Theta Care Medical Center, former site of our sanitation garage. There'll be market rents, workforce housing, and 56 units there as well. So there were some colorful renderings that we wanted to show off with that. So we're excited about all of these going on, and we look forward to this development and everything to lead toward a very successful 2025. So that rounds out the top 10, Andy.
That's the top 10. And thank you for that summary and giving us an overview of all of that. Just want to say also, it has been a pleasure on behalf of the Oshkosh Media team. It's been a pleasure doing these shows with you, Mark. And thank you so much for all your knowledge on sharing your knowledge on these programs.
Top 10 show has been a lot of fun, and I wish you all the best, and thanks for everything, all the memories of Oshkosh, and wish everybody the best of luck.
Absolutely. And we thank you as well for joining us for these programs for our look back on 2024. And please join us again in 2025 for more new programs about the city of Oshkosh. And thanks for joining us today, and best wishes for a prosperous 2025.